You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey, YNR fans, I've got your 2-week spoilers. For October 7th through the 18th, we're looking at Jack Abbott, Absolutely Outraged, and Michelle Stafford's anniversary episode, a standalone of sorts, but I think it's going to be more like Sharon standalone, where it does move the storyline forward. That is coming. We have so much to talk about. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt. We are going to dive into all the action over these 2 weeks, but if you haven't subscribed, please click that button. All right, on Monday, October 7th, we have got Sharon pulling a stunt. She lured Daniel and Lucy out of the apartment by saying she was some rando who found Heather's phone. So she lures them out to meet her, which is just cruel. You know, it really is. This is just cruelty, and whatever consequences she faces, this may come into it, just tormenting this family, you know. And of course, she doesn't meet them. Instead, Sharon lets herself in with Heather's keys, plants the phone, the keys, and the bloody rags where she wiped up Heather's blood off the floor, sticks it all in a cabinet in the living room, and is planning to call in a tip to the police to frame Daniel for her murder of Heather. Summer spends some time talking with Nick and Phyllis, and they're discussing that Heather's cause of death was blunt force trauma. Phyllis, of course, assumes she was murdered. Nick doesn't really want to be speculating. He thinks they just need to be there for Daniel and Lucy, but Phyllis is basically ready to take over planning Heather's memorial, and Nick's like, dial it back, check with Daniel, maybe he doesn't want your help. And Phyllis is very rightly worried this might push Daniel into a dark place. Kyle is gleeful that he has Audra fired from Glissade, and she said it's not over, and he reminds her it is, because you have been fired. Claire is a little uncomfortable with Kyle's ruthlessness, and he kind of thinks she might be jealous over his past with Audra and tells her not to. I don't think Claire is. I just think there's some red flags there about somebody being cruel. You know, she doesn't like that. And Audra spends some time talking to Sally, and they're discussing things that they want. Audra wants Glissade back from Kyle, and Sally may want Adam back from Chelsea. Not that he's with Chelsea, but he's been sniffing around Chelsea because he's kind of lost hope that he will ever win Sally back. We also find out that Chance is back on the force at the GCPD, and he is the one looking into Heather Stevens' murder case. And Daniel talks to Chance about the phone and the text he got and how it was password protected and how it's very strange. And Chance is going to start looking into her phone because this is a good lead. On Tuesday, October 8th, Chance has a warning for Daniel. Now, that warning might be, you know, if he finds the stuff in the apartment, or it might be warning Daniel, you know, this is a long shot. It may take a while to get this sorted out. Victor is making trouble specifically for the Abbotts. We know that Kyle is handing him a formula for a soon-to-be-released Jabot product, and that could be what he's doing. And Phyllis is angry, and Sharon is defensive, and Nick is caught between them on Tuesday. Then on Wednesday, October 9th, we've got Cole and Victoria spending some time talking about their future. What I really appreciate about Cole is that he does not give two gosh darns what Victor Newman thinks. He told Cole, you can't date Victoria, and Cole immediately went, not only took her out for a date, but took her to bed. He has told Cole to leave town, and he instead decided to shut up his apartment, quit his job in England, and move to Genoa City. I think he is exactly the right kind of guy that Victoria needs in her life. And of course, it's nice for Claire to have her parents around. Nick is giving some mixed signals to Sharon. And, you know, part of this whole plot with Cameron in her head was getting Nick back. It was getting vengeance for Cassie, Lily because she's unfairly blaming Daniel. But also wound up in there is her belief that Cassie's death is what ruined her future with Nick. And so this is going to get very interesting between them very soon. And Chance is heavily investigating Heather's murder by midweek. Thursday, October 10th, Victor comes to Abby's rescue, and I wonder if this is about her wedding planning and that he may offer an alternate venue if hers falls through. Chance grills Sharon about Heather. Now, I don't know if this is about the phone or just about the fact that she has been getting aggressive with Daniel, with Heather, and with Lucy, and I'm sure that Phyllis is going to fill him in on all of this. And Nikki does some negotiating and comes out of it with the upper hand. Friday, October 11th, Victor blindsides Lily and tells her things have changed. He cut that deal with her to make her the CEO of Abbott Chancellor if she helps him get Billy out of the way. He never had any intention on following through. He never gave her a written offer. She has been warned by a lot of people that Victor was going to screw her over. And by Friday the 11th, I think she starts to realize she should have listened. Nate is back with surprising news on Friday, and Jack offers Claire a history lesson on Friday. Going into the week of October 14th through the 18th, Claire may be the only one who can get Kyle to stop what he's doing and prevent this Abbott family fracture from widening. But it's going to come out soon that Glissade has a product that's identical to the one that Jabot has coming out, and Jack is going to be outraged at Kyle and Victor. He is going to know that it was stolen from him, and he's going to know that it had to be Kyle, and things with these Abbotts may be at an absolute break point. Lily is realizing that Victor has been lying and playing her, and she's never going to be CEO of Abbott Chancellor if he takes over. Fortunately, Jill Abbott is back soon to take on Victor, but Lily may have to pay some consequences for sabotaging Billy. But to be fair, Billy has been sabotaging her as well. It's almost time for Abby's wedding to Devon. Look for things to kick into high gear for that big event soon. The heat is on Sharon, despite her attempt to set up Daniel, and things are going to come to a head by Friday, October 18th. That is the episode celebrating Michelle Stafford's 30 years playing Phyllis Summers. Granted, if you're doing the math, it hasn't been 30 years straight through since Gina Tognoni stepped into the role for a while. I do expect to get scenes of Sharon and Nick and Phyllis among many of the flashbacks we expect to set up things in the ongoing Sharon versus Phyllis climax over this plot with Sharon murdering Heather and setting up Phyllis's son Daniel for her crime. Look for more on Sally, Adam, and Chelsea. Billy seems to want to extricate himself from this mess, but I doubt he's going to get free of it just yet. And Nate had gotten a message from Amy Lewis. She's the returning character from the late 80s. She dated his dad, Nathan Hastings Sr. back in the day, a dad that Nate grew up without. I don't know if you remember, but he kidnapped Nate from his mom back in the 90s, but had decided to return the kid, but he was hit by a car and died. So Amy sent Nate a message last week, and we're going to find out more about that message this week. And then the Amy Lewis recast debuts October 29th with Valerie Pettiford in the role.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.